All right, back again. This will actually be my third session in this block of conditioning. As you can see, I did 5,000 meters. It took me about a little less than 24 minutes. This is just supposed to act as a warm-up or pre-fatigue. We'll be moving from more endurance to more and more kind of explosive type CrossFit training, as you'll see here. The goal was to do way more sets unbroken in kind of like not an EMOM, but I guess it's like an HIIT. The beginning of these cycles is always a lot harder to gauge what my capacity is, where I'm at. So this session was two things. It was a failure, but it was also a lesson. It is doing a good job for helping me gauge where I'm at. Like I said, this is the third session in this block post my second competition. And the other two sessions were primarily swimming. I did a swimming session that was very reminiscent of what I'm doing here. It was like some reverse rows, or like reverse push-ups, where it's like a row where you hang from something and you pull. I used to call them Australian push-ups, but no one else seems to know this term for that movement, so I don't know what else to call them. Where I would swim a length of the pool, I would get out and do some calisthenics, and then I would swim another length, and that was all done on an interval. The interval here, I think I intended to do like a minute 15, but it just kept climbing up because I was not recovering in a way where I was going to get the same or get the benefits that I intended. I even had to take like a 3 to 5 minute break after my sixth set. It was pretty tragic, but that's what this is all for. We're only, like I said, third session in. First two sessions were mostly swimming, and this is the first real deal one. Eventually, I would like to get up to doing some sessions that are like this, where I'm actually hitting something like thrusters, or thrusters, or like front squats into like a jerk or push press, or I guess like a power jerk, squat jerk, at body weight. The 5,000 meters of rowing may have been a bit too much, but that's definitely okay in the beginning, where early on I am more focused on the duration and hitting that long, sustained, or like steady state type cardio. So 1 out of every 3 sessions for the first 2 weeks will be like this really hardcore kind of like CrossFit element that's incorporated. Yeah, you can see me starting to like try and bargain with myself about like what's appropriate, and really watching that clock. I'm already feeling like such a strong pump. I'm just not flushing the lactic acid very well. I was also trying to do the pull-ups relatively strict, but obviously to make the reps, if I can't do them strict, I'm not gonna do less reps because I'm so focused on doing them strict. I would rather get the volume in, especially this early on. I'll be trying to do a full cycle that's from 5 to really like 6 months, which means that my next comp, I'm gonna start shopping around for competitions around, I guess, March, looking for a May or June slot, which is about the time frame I did last year. So I'll probably, every year that I feel like I can maintain this, I'll maybe do one in April, May, June, and then another one in August, September, October, something like that. It seems like a lot of comps are in October and in May, June timeframe, and I think some of that might have to do with just work, school, holidays. That's just when it seems like a lot of promoters are scheduling competitions, and I don't necessarily want to do the ones in December or aim for December, because I think that's when some of the national stuff gets done for USS. I'm not sure. I would have to take another look. Yeah, you can see me struggling here. I'm rising up to my toes a lot. I'm wearing different shoes than I normally do. I would normally wear my squat shoes, but I decided to wear what I consider to be like more athletic shoes. These are what I would normally, go to work in. So I'm not used to the way I'm having to balance. Oh yeah, I'm having trouble. My heart is just going, and I can't figure out a good stance to breathe. I feel like if I stand up all the way, I get a cramp, not up under my rib cage. It's in my abs, but it's way down low, like near my hip. It feels like one of those breathing cramps, but it was so much lower. My conditioning is just absolutely demolished after being away from it for so long. The reason why I did the thrusters after the pull-ups is because I want it to be that I'm generating blood flow to my lats to really inflate my lats. So that way it's a little bit easier to feel my ability to oppose them in the overhead position. A lot of what makes it hard to get good overhead position for people and high elbows on the receiving position of the clean is super tight lats. And so I'm combating that a little bit just by making it so that I can feel my lats and I can actively feel what it's like to oppose them, actively as opposed to passively. So this combination's good, but then it also is nice to be able to see the timer as I'm ending the set instead of with my back to the timer. I don't know, that's just nicer for me psychologically, I guess. Yeah, you can see me start to get a little bit more kippy. I still don't drive my knees up too much. It's pretty much all whale tail. No, trying to work towards a muscle up. Also, by the end of this, I would like it to be that I'm utilizing muscle ups instead of the pull up. Usually I can get a singular muscle up when I'm feeling fresh and I'm very warmed up. And I know a lot of it's form, but the proximity of the structure of the frame to the pull-up bars that are at all the gyms that I go to really kind of get me in my head like I'm going to hit them trying to do a muscle up. They're really not designed for people who want to do anything gymnastic. Despite how this thing looks, it's one of the things that keeps drawing me towards CrossFit gyms, is because there wouldn't be that big bar across from me in a CrossFit setting. That wouldn't be there, and I'd be able to sort of get my toes all the way to the bar in an arc without having to worry about the space around me. It is kind of tragic that that's a reality. Or the bars that I could do it on, they're too low to the ground. My feet end up touching the ground, so I can't actually get at a dead hang, which itself is also tragic. I believe I only did 9 sets. The first 6 were unbroken, and then the last 3 were just tragic. I just was so ready to be done. That bar didn't help. I kind of had to power curl the bar because it's very bent. It is so bent. It's almost a cambered bar that it's so bent. Yeah, the 5,000 meters was probably too much. I think I was literally doing these on like a minute 30 by the end of it because I just could not hang. As far as accessories, I'll probably be working accessories in my next phase. That won't be so much here now where I'm just doing a lot of conditioning work. It could be a good time to get it in, I guess, but I would really like to do that when I'm doing my power building phase, where it's like getting a little bit more hypertrophy, a little bit more like static strength, kind of genuinely working on that foundation. And I will say, like, I'm the time of recording this audio, this is 2 days later. I did this session on, I guess it was Thursday. So I took off. Well, it was not off, but I swam Friday. This session was Thursday. All right, well, and there's the breakdown. You can see where my heart rate was. I got pretty sustained above 150 for a while. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll try and get back to you. Since I have all of 2 subscribers, I'm very likely to answer whatever you're thinking.